Today we will talk all about Solana, but with a major update. So I know Solana has been trending for the past week with its price explosion. We will cover what's going on right now with the Solana Breakpoint event. But also, I need to make a very urgent update on my previous videos about Solana because I have talked about the Solana tokenomics and its token inflation. And after doing some very heavy due diligence, I in fact found the real unlock schedule for all investors on Solana. And this actually dispels some of the early worries I had where I claimed that Solana could continue to have super high inflation leading into the next bull market. I do believe I was wrong about this, and I will give you guys the updated numbers. Okay, so if you're new here to the channel, welcome. My name is Dennis. I'm a crypto angel investor for the past 5 years, and I have invested in over 100 crypto startups. On this channel, I share my views on market trends and investing strategy to build wealth in crypto. Okay, let's get straight into it. So let me show you guys what I mean by Solana's mistake that I made on Solana. So here is a couple of my previous videos. So the first one is with the Solana price prediction video. So I am not a hater of Solana. In fact, I covered a lot of Solana's upsides, how its downtime is no longer bad anymore. It only went down once in February of this year, and the chain, you cannot call it centralized that it can be shut down anymore comparatively to other chains. Solana is also super fast compared to all other blockchains by finality time. It is the #1 chain by speed. Actually, this is true. And they have some very unique adoption verticals when it comes to Solana Pay, Solana Mobile, Solana Depend is also very exciting. I think you should go watch my full in-depth video on Solana price prediction. Now, the main thing that I wanted to update is with the Solana tokenomics. So right here, we covered the FTX bankruptcy, and here is us tracking all of the FTX bankruptcy, Solana stake and how much Alameda still owns Solana. And here you see an unlock schedule for Alameda and FTX's stake of SOL tokens, which lasts all the way until 2027. That will be linearly released every day, right? So this was kind of one of the worries. Even though you see right here, this number equates to 50 million total that will be unlocked until 2027. I still took this to heart because I believe, this could potentially mean that there are some early investors tokens that have a very long lockup schedule that haven't been released yet. So then I took on to this token unlocks app that we use very often. And on here, it's able to show all the inflation numbers for each coin. And you see right here, down here, this is the chart that was very concerning to me because on this chart, it claims that Solana already has over 1 billion supply today. And this is very different from the stats you see on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, because usually those claim that there is a circulating supply of something like 400 million or so, and total supply 560. And most of the Solana documentation, as you can see right here on the Solana economics, and if we look at inflation, so usually they claim that Solana has an annual inflation rate of maximum 8%. And this is what you see on all the staking websites as well. Coinbase staking claims Solana has 8% inflation. Here you see P2P staking node claims Solana has probably 8%, but they give 7% APR because they take fees. So really, I was really cautious about which one is true because I couldn't really figure out a very detailed vesting schedule for early investors of Solana. So that's why in an updated video just 4 days ago in our live stream, when talking about Solana, this is what I mentioned. It will be able to reach its previous So you guys know my stance on Solana. Very long term, I have made a full price prediction video on Solana. I don't think it will be able to reach its previous all-time high at 250 because Solana has had very significant inflation, and that total market cap for Solana will grow to something like 1.1, 1.2 billion by the next bull run peak in 2025. So that's going to look at $250, that's going to be well over $250 billion in market cap for Solana. That's just highly, highly unlikely. So this is what I said 4 days ago. Now, I really took a conservative stance on this because from the mixed information out there, I really couldn't tell if it's for sure going to be over 1 billion or if it's going to be something like 650 million that some of the trackers claim. For example, on CoinGecko, they claim that Solana, based on the inflation, by, let's say, December 2025, that would be something like 650 million total supply instead of 1.1 billion. Okay, so that's the background. Now, yesterday, very big thanks to one of my followers on Twitter, Aniket. So he said, "Hi, I saw your video about Solana and it seems that you have made a mistake about its tokenomics. Sol's annual inflation is 5.7%, thus your price prediction is absolutely wrong. Please recheck." So this page, I really tried to find this page, and I managed to find it because this is the official tokenomics inflation documentation from Solana. And you see, based on what they claim, there is a clear total supply schedule here. So you see, at launch, the supply is of Solana was 488 million when it launched on January 25th, 2020. And then the inflation will kind of go like this. So if we take this date and then we take that, extrapolate to 2025, let's say mid to late 2025, 5.5 years. So we are looking at, on this supply chart right about here, right, 5.5 years mark right here. And you see that gives us total supply of 650 million. So I believe this is where, CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap and a lot of these tracker sites, this is the source that gave them this total supply number. Now, just from this documentation, I still wasn't fully convinced because a couple reasons. So if we look at our research on Solana versus with their deal with FTX, you see that they have done other deals as well where Solana tokens were locked up even further and sold to, for example, Alameda and FTX trading, and they unlock from 2021 until 2027, 2028. So very long, 5-6 year unlock schedule. And this would be added on top. This could potentially be added on top of the inflation chart because this total supply only takes into account inflation based on staking, proof of stake, how much Solana you stake, and how much total percentage reward is released per year. This is what this chart shows. So this is why I think this could be right, that reflects inflation, but I think the core part it's missing is the early investor, the VC investor, the team, advisors, foundation tokens. What is the unlock schedule for those? And sadly, on Solana's official documentation, that's not available. So then, last night I really dug way deeper, put on my VC hat. So I went all the way back to the Solana ICO, which was March 2020. So this is when they had their ICO on CoinList. And through some VPN, magic, I was able to get on the original Solana ICO research page. So here it was. You see March 24th, it had this Solana ICO in 2020, 22 cents per SOL. This would have been amazing. But I think you can find the actual proposed tokenomics here that is still available. All of their fundraise rounds. You see, this is what I'm talking about. So all of these notable investors that got in Solana at 4 cents, 20 cents, etc. Now, obviously, this is like they took a very early bet and it paid off. Kudos to them. But I'm really curious about their vesting schedule. Have they released all their tokens? So then I scroll all the way down to these documentation. So this is where it got really interesting. These two things here, the purchaser deck and the staking program, is really meaningful. So number one, this is the purchaser deck. This is essentially the early pitch deck for Solana, March 2020. And on here, very typical thing you need to include is a tokenomics or token release unlock schedule. So this is much more direct, right? So you see here, the coinless auction, the public sale buyers, they had no lockup, which means they got all their tokens right away. And those tokens are definitely already circulating. And then when we look at the funding rounds, the 4 funding rounds, seed, founding, validator, strategic, they all say unlocks at 9 months. And here is asterisk, unlocks 9 months after mainnet launch. This means 9 months after January 2020, right? So by September 2020, I believe, this would have unlocked. Now, is it a 100% unlock, or is there a maybe 4 to 5 year vesting schedule? That is still the thing that's missing here, because typically a seed investor that got in so cheap at 4 cents per Solana, they usually wouldn't get all their tokens in one batch. Instead, they get very slow drips of their token over multiple years. So this was the thing that was still missing. So then I went on to this staking agreement. And this right here finally cleared the air for me. Here you see, I want to see here, early token holders. There was a thing here. What is the vesting schedule for early token holders? So read this carefully. Approximately 9 months after the auction, early token holders who participated in the pre-auction private SAFT sales, so this means all the seed, private, validator round investors, they will see 100% of their tokens unlocked. Founders will unlock 50% of their tokens, and then the remaining 50% of the founder tokens are unlocked monthly over the following 24 months. Non-founding employees will also unlock 100% of their tokens at this time, although there will be selling restrictions in place. So this was honestly quite shocking to me. So basically, 9 months after the auction, right? So keep in mind, the auction happened March 24th in 2020. So 9 months after that would have been December 2020. All of the early investor tokens have been unlocked. So people that got in the seed round at 4 cents, founding round at 20 cents, etc. All of these were unlocked. I was shocked, because this usually doesn't happen. But in Solana's case, it did happen. And I think it's very safe to assume that all of these guys have sold, because, Solana went on to do 1,000x from these prices. It went on to $250. Like, if you bought Solana in one of these private sales at 20 cents, you would have taken profit. And that has been, 3 years ago. So yes, these early investors made huge amounts of money, but because the Solana has had such a long, 3 years of bull and bear run now, this is actually very good for current circulating supply, because this actually cleared the air. The seed investors, founding team, validators, strategic sales, all of their tokens have been unlocked and circulating, which means they don't have any more unlocks happening in the future that they can sell on the market. So this was the number one thing that I was still confused about, where I wasn't sure if this very high, potential inflation schedule of like Solana reaching 1.1 billion if this was potentially true, or if the Solana documented total supply was true and the total supply will only be at 650 million. So knowing that all of the early investors and even the team tokens have been fully unlocked by 2022, end of 2022, this means all of the early tokens, the team, founding members, employees, seed investors, their tokens have all been circulating. This is really good news. And this means I was wrong. So in my last video, when I said Solana's inflation is still super high from the early investors, this is false. And I think the real circulating supply and the total supply from Solana's claims and from Solana's block explorer, I believe there is one that you can find, right here. Explorer Solana here. So Solana's officially claimed token supply, right? Total supply 560, circulating supply 420. This is true. This is the number that I'm going to start taking, which means this is very similar to how this matches very much like what the supply should be right about now, right here. So by the end of the bull market, by the end of 2025, it's pretty safe to assume that the Solana total supply will be about 650 million. So with that in mind, what is the updated price prediction of mine for Solana? So in my original video, I said that Solana has a very hard chance to revisit its previous all-time high at $250. Now, I still think that is somewhat realistic. I think even at $250, we can do the math, right? 250 times, 650 million. That is a market cap of $162 billion. That is still very, very high, right? We are looking at a top 5 coin. So Solana, in its market cap rankings, it is already at top 7. So basically, it just needs to move up a little bit more and remain there for the entirety of the next 2 years. Is that realistic? Optimistically speaking, yes, it's definitely possible now. So if Solana reaches its previous all-time high at 250, that is a $162 billion market cap. That is very optimistic, but definitely possible. So I'm no longer going to say that's completely impossible. That is possible. So that's my kind of very optimistic estimate, previous all-time high, $250. Now, a more conservative estimate. So if you look at price charts, let's just look right now. So much more conservative estimate, I think something like between $78 and $136. That's going to be honestly decently conservative because let's say on average between here, that's at 100. So $100 per Solana times $650 million in 650 million total supply. That is $65 billion. That isn't that high. So most of the top 10 coins in the last bull run have reached those valuations at the bull run peak. So I think conservatively speaking, between 78 and 136, that's definitely quite feasible in this bull run. Previous all-time high at 250, that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but if you're very optimistic about Solana, it still can be reached. I am retracting my claim that Solana cannot reach its previous all-time high. It certainly can. Is it going to be guaranteed? I don't think so, but it's possible. It's not far-fetched anymore. So that's my main update I wanted to give. But still keep this in mind, even though we have had this Solana uptick in the last month or so, nothing shoots up directly, right? So keep this in mind, and let's just do a very quick TA on Solana for short to medium term, right? So in our last few trading videos, we have had this same chart up already. So basically, in Solana's recent rally, it has broken above its previous resistance between $26 and $30. Right here, you can see this level that I have circled out with red here. So it dates all the way back to March to July 2021 when it had its first major correction. And then throughout the bear market, this level acted as resistance. This was when we had the Luna crash. And then when FTX crashed, obviously Solana broke below this level. And then this level continued to act as resistance. So now it has finally broken above it. And personally, from this major rally we have right now, I think Solana is getting a bit overextended. So I am not chasing this rally in the short term. And ideally, I would like to reload on Solana within this range right here. So the next time, if Solana can come back down and retest this range between, let's say, $27 to even as high as $32, right? If you want to count this bit of consolidation here, that's going to be all really good entry for me. So between 27 and 32. So I think current price is above 40. That's not going to maintain. And if you're very worried about missing this rally, I don't think you need to be worried, because very heavily overextended, especially in the last week when it was just going straight up. And on top of this, we have to take into account that the biggest biggest event for Solana is happening right now, which happens once per year. And that is the Solana Breakpoint conference, when they have the biggest updates, biggest roadmap releases every year. So this event is a 3-day event that goes from October 30th to November 3rd. So right after this event finishes, we could see a sell the news and short-term correction coming for Solana, which could bring price back down to something like $32. So that's why I am staying patient and waiting for at least a short-term correction and not FOMOing in. Remember, nothing goes straight up, right? All my price predictions that I have made in the previous full deep dive video on Solana, that's talking about 2 years down the line, right? We're talking about 2025 price prediction, not immediate price prediction. Just because I say Solana should be able to reach $100, even $130 in this bull run, doesn't mean it's going to go there tomorrow or next week or even within 6 months. I think that's all quite unlikely to happen. We're talking about 1.5 years from now until the end of 2025. So keep that in mind. Once a chart starts shooting up like this, there's absolutely no reason to FOMO, because nothing goes straight up. And that's why I'm waiting quite patiently for Solana to come back down $27 to $32. I think that's all going to be really good short-term reload opportunity for me. Okay, and last bit of note, with this Solana hype, the Solana ecosystem is also gaining a lot of traction. So I think this is one area that is worth paying attention to right now. So when you look at Solana's ecosystem coins for the past few days, they have been exploding. So here we see Marinade Sol. This is the top liquid staking protocol on Solana. And on 7-day, this is up 34%. And then we have, I think, Radium is on here. Radium is up 49%. Right? You see, this is Marinade Sol following Solana's rally very closely. Radium used to be the #1 decentralized exchange on Solana. You see, it had this huge pump from 20 cents all the way up to 34 cents. But I actually have a kind of sleeper pick that I think not a lot of people are paying attention to, and that is Orca. So Orca and Radium are both decentralized exchanges on Solana, but Radium was heavily controlled by FTX and Alameda, and this is why Radium had its huge decline in market share in Solana trading volume. Versus Orca, however, has overtaken Radium in the bear market and become the #1 decentralized exchange by actual adoption. So here you see Chris Bernsky actually highlighted this. So Orca just had basically have had I believe they have had this major update as well. I haven't read into it at Solana Breakpoint conference, but based on trading volume for the past 18 months, Orca is by far number one on Solana dexes. And on average, Orca facilitates as much trade volume as all other Solana dexes combined. And on top of this, for all of the major breakout coins in the past year that have launched on Solana, for example, Bonk Inu, the huge meme coin that was super popular, even Robit that first launched on Solana, well, they all listed on Orca first, not Radium. This is why I think there's kind of an arbitrage here. People are hyping up Radium because they know that this was the original DEX on Solana. And you see Radium is at, what's the market cap right now? 70 million fully circulating and 160 fully diluted. And then you look at Orca. Well, Orca is still lower than that. 62 million circulating, 144 fully diluted. So I think Orca should be actually way ahead of Radium. And that's why this is one I'm looking at to buy the dip on. So if once Solana Breakpoint finishes just tomorrow, not only am I going to look at Solana, Orca is also another one that I'm heavily paying attention to, because I know actually by using Solana in the bear market, most of the trading is happening on this decentralized exchange, not on Radium anymore. So a bit of alpha for you there as well. Okay, that's it for today's live stream and today's video. Hope you guys have found it helpful. I don't have time to do Q&As today, so gonna have to cut it here. But if you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments and even in the chats as well. And I will take a look afterwards and I will respond to everything that is interesting and potentially make a follow-up. If you think I got anything else wrong about Solana, please let me know. I really appreciate you guys that actually fact check me, and these actually really help me do my own due diligence. And sometimes I could be wrong about some of my potential, research. And this is really important to correct for myself as well when building my portfolio. Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in. Before I leave, make sure to follow me on Twitter at virtualbacon0x or X if you want to call it that. This is where I post all of my day-to-day crypto alpha that's too quick for these in-depth videos. And last but not least, make sure to check all of our links on virtualbacon.com and join our Discord with our free VIP program where we have daily trade alerts and alpha signals from myself directly. You can find the link down in the description or with discord.gg/virtualbacon. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next video and next live stream. Cheers. Bye for now.